Hello everybody, it's Ben Larry here. I really believe and I really hope that more and more people will begin to question the legitimacy of government. Because I don't see why I should have to do as I'm told. I never agreed to that. I never agreed to let somebody else govern me. I never volunteered into this. I never asked to be a citizen or a member of society. I never agreed to conform to all these arbitrary rules which they call laws. What's that got to do with me? Who are these people? Where do they get this authority? Where do they think they get this authority to impose their will upon people and make you do as you're told and force you to conform? What gives them that right? Nothing. I don't acknowledge it. To me, it's completely illegitimate. And your membership to society is supposed to be voluntary. That's the idea. They don't want you to know that, but it's supposed to be voluntary. It's a social contract. The idea is that you voluntarily surrender certain natural freedoms and certain natural rights in order to become a member, a citizen of a society, in order to gain the greater protections and benefits and civil rights that comes from being a member, just like any club. It's supposed to be voluntary. It's supposed to be a choice. That's what it really is. But they don't treat it that way. They treat you as if you got no choice. They treat you as if you're property, as if you're a slave, as if you're a subject of Her Majesty the Queen, whether you like it or not, as if you've got to do as you're told, as if you were born a subordinate. They got no right to do that. What gives them that right? Nothing. Who are they? Says who? I've got to do as I'm told. Says who? I've got to pay taxes if I don't want to. Says who? I've got to wear a seatbelt in a car. Says who that you can do this and you can't do that? And what gives them the right to force you? Because if you don't do as you're told, then they come to your house with guns and handcuffs and they physically, violently force you to comply. And they extort the money out of you with a gun. And if you still won't do as you're told, they'll throw you in prison or shoot you. That's criminal. That's extortion. That's not okay. It's a mafia racket. It would be okay if they just revoked the benefits. If they just kicked you out of the club. If they revoked your membership. That would be alright. If they said, fine, you don't want to do as you're told, you don't want to comply with the law, fine, you're on your own. We're not going to protect you. You're not entitled to the services and the benefits of society. You're on your own. Get out. That would be okay, because that's what any membership club would do. They just kick you out. Right? They cut off the benefits. That would be alright. But in reality, they don't do that. They come to the house with guns and handcuffs and they physically, violently force you to do as, you know, to impose their will upon you. It's not alright. And I'm so passionate about this because I think if the more and more people just started pondered these ideas and just thought about it and just, you know, people's eyes would open to the reality of what this is. Because we're so indoctrinated, we're so hypnotized, we're so trained not to question it. You know, we're raised, and the public indoctrination system, the school system, you know, teaches everybody from a young age to do as you're told. We're trained to do as we're told. And it's so hard to question it. But, you know, I think there's people like me. I don't know whether it's, you know, my generation, or I don't know whether, you know, there's something that's just going on in the collective consciousness. I don't know whether, you know, it's the internet revolution that's waking, you know, to me, I don't see why I should have to do as I'm told at all. I don't see why a government is necessary at all. I don't see that they've got a right to force me to do as I'm told. I don't take it seriously. I don't consider their laws to be binding upon me. Why should they be? I don't want to do as I'm told. I don't want to contribute my energy and pay taxes into a you know, a society that invades other countries and starts wars and bombs people. I don't want to participate in that. Nor should I have to. We're all born equal. If you want to govern yourself according to your own code of ethics and your own conscience of what's right and wrong, then you've got a right to do that. You're not born as a subject to some government or some royal family. We're all born equal. Why should you have to do as you're told if you don't want to? You don't. If you look down from space from a space telescope, there's no political borders, there's no countries, there's no nations, there's no such thing as that. If you look down from space, there's just land mass and oceans. That's it. In reality, that's what we're born into. We're just born as animals onto the land, basically. And then these creations, these political associations and borders and governments, they're just ideas. They don't exist in reality. They're just in people's minds. It's just a confidence trick. It's mind control. We've been hypnotized. None of it is real. And so, I don't consent. I don't want nothing to do with it. I don't vote. I don't want to be governed. I don't see why I should have to do as I'm told. I don't want to be a citizen. I never asked for none of it. I don't want to participate in any of it. It's disgusting. The wars are disgusting. And the fact that they physically force you to do as you're told, whether you like it or not, is criminal. Is criminal. And the faster and the quicker people realize that, and become clear on this, and realize that's what's going on, then the faster we can wake up from this dream. This crazy, illegitimate dream called government. Here's to a new beginning. Bye.
It's a story of a place called Mouseland. Mouseland was a place where all the little mice lived and played, and were born and died, and they lived much as you and I do. They even had a parliament, and every 4 years they had an election. They used to walk to the polls and cast their ballot. Some of them even got a ride to the polls. Got a ride for the next 4 years afterwards, too. Just like you and me. And every time on election day, all the little mice used to go to the ballot box and they used to elect a government. A government made up of big, fat, black cats. Now, if you think it's strange that mice should elect a government made up of cats, you just look at the history of Canada for the last 90 years, and maybe you'll see that they weren't any stupider than we are. Now, I'm not saying anything against the cats. They were nice fellows. They conducted the government with dignity. They passed good laws. That is, laws that were good for cats. But the laws that were good for cats weren't very good for mice. One of the laws said that mouse holes had to be big enough so a cat could get his paw in. Another law said that mice could only travel at certain speeds so that a cat could get his breakfast without too much physical effort. All the laws were good laws for cats. But oh, they were hard on the mice. And life was getting harder and harder. And when the mice couldn't put up with it anymore, they decided something had to be done about it. So they went en masse to the polls. They voted the black cat out. And they put in the white cat. The white cat had put up a terrific campaign. They said all that Mouseland needs is more vision. They said the trouble with Mouseland is those round mouse holes we've got. If you put us in, we'll establish square mouse holes. And they did. And the square mouse holes were twice as big as the round mouse holes. And now the cat could get both his paws in. And life was tougher than ever. And when they couldn't take that anymore, they voted the white cats out and put the black ones in again. And then they went back to the white cats, and then to the black cats. They even tried half black cats and half white cats. And they called that coalition. They even got one government made up of cats with spots on them. They were cats that tried to make a noise like a mouse, but they ate like a cat. You see, my friends, the trouble wasn't with the color of the cat. The trouble was that they were cats. And because they were cats, they naturally looked after cats instead of mice. Presently, there came along one little mouse who had an idea. My friends, watch out for the little fellow with an idea. And he said to the other mice, look, fellas, why do we keep on electing a government made up of cats? Why don't we elect a government made up of mice? Oh, they said he's a Bolshevik. Lock him up. So they put him in jail. But I want to remind you that you can lock up a mouse or a man, but you can't lock up an idea.
Cette idée serait-elle la souveraineté individuelle?
J'adore Mouseland. Bonjour, bonjour. Je suis encore sous le coup, ça fait plusieurs fois que je vois. C'est d'un bon sens tellement élémentaire qu'on ne peut pas s'empêcher de rire, non pas des souris, mais de nous. C'est exactement ce que nous faisons. Nous continuons à élire des rats pour nous manger. Aujourd'hui, j'ai décidé de vous parler, d'aborder ce sujet. Que faire maintenant que je prends conscience qu'il y a quelque chose qui ne va pas? Je vais être polie, quelque chose qui ne tourne pas rond. Que puis-je faire? Il y a beaucoup de solutions qui sont proposées en ce moment. On en reçoit beaucoup sur Internet. Ça fait du bruit. On en entend parler des Occupy Wall Street, on entend parler des Free Men on the Land, des gens qui décident de revenir à ce statut d'homme libre sur la terre. On entend parler de plein de choses. We don't pay, on ne paie plus. On ne paie plus quoi? Hein? Alors, on voit beaucoup de mouvements de révolte, d'insatisfaction, de révolte. En même temps, on voit que l'agent policière augmente partout dans les pays. En Europe, ils ont créé, je pense que ça s'appelle Fort ou quelque chose comme ça, j'oublie toujours le nom, c'est difficile à retenir pour moi, mais qui est une gendarmerie spéciale, je crois qu'elle est en Italie, mais qui a droit d'entrer dans n'importe quel pays d'Europe, n'importe quoi, pour mater des révolutions, et qui n'est pas du tout soumise aux lois du pays, qui peut faire ce qu'elle veut. On est vraiment dans un moment d'opposition des forces de pouvoir en place, et puis de la révolte des gens. Je ne vous parlerai pas de la Grèce qui se fait manger tout rond. Alors là, vraiment, les rats sont tous rentrés par la grande porte, et qui se fait manger tout rond. Et nous sommes toutes en ligne pour être mangés tout rond. Hein? Tous les pays sont endettés. Le boulot a été bien fait. Des dettes qui ne sont pas vraies, je répète pour les personnes qui ne le sauraient pas. Il n'y a pas de dette nationale, ça n'est pas vrai. Il n'y a jamais eu d'argent de prêter. Alors c'est faux. L'intérêt sur l'argent, c'est faux. Il n'y a aucune raison qu'on fasse de l'intérêt sur de l'argent. Et voyez, c'est ce que nous faisons dans notre vie quotidienne. Hein? On va y venir tout à l'heure. Alors, oui, il y a un affrontement en ce moment, sauf que c'est la guerre. Qu'est-ce qu'on fait quand il y a la guerre? Bien, écoutez, c'est celui qui a le plus gros canon, le plus gros fusil, qui gagne. Est-ce que nous avons le plus gros fusil? C'est peut-être le temps de se poser la question et de se demander, est-ce que je veux opter pour cette solution-là ou y a-t-il une autre solution? C'est ça le but de la rencontre d'aujourd'hui, de vous expliquer un petit peu en quoi consiste ce dont on entend parler, tous ces mouvements qui étudient la loi. On voit par exemple des fois des individus qui se font arrêter en voiture, puis le policier demande les papiers, l'individu dit « Non, moi je suis un homme libre, je peux conduire sans permis de conduire ». Le policier ne comprend rien, l'amène au poste, il se ramasse en prison. Des fois ça marche, des fois ça ne marche pas. C'est vraiment mêlant de savoir de quoi il s'agit. Il y a plusieurs choses, explications différentes, plusieurs enseignements différents. Alors, je vais aborder les grandes lignes de cela, et puis pour vous dire que c'est pas ça. Que c'est pas ça que moi j'ai choisi. Je ne vous dis pas que c'est pas ça, je vous dis que ça n'est pas ce que moi j'ai choisi. J'entends souvent dire aussi « Ah oui, telle personne a dit comme toi. » Bien. Et puis elle l'a fait comme toi. Bien. Non. C'est pas ça non plus, c'est pas grave, mais il y a beaucoup de confusion. Alors, je veux aborder ça aujourd'hui pour mettre ça clair, pour qu'on sache à tout moment quoi faire. Et quoi faire n'est pas à l'extérieur, il n'y a personne qui va vous dire quoi faire, surtout pas moi. La réponse est à l'intérieur de vous, mais à tout moment de savoir où je me situe. Dans le choix que je fais ou dans telle option qu'on me présente. Je vais donc commencer par vous... situer les différents, ce qu'on appelle le grand portrait de l'évolution de conscience humaine. Ici, il y a des moutons blancs puis des moutons noirs. On va commencer par ceux-ci. On va comprendre, il faut d'abord comprendre parce qu'on est là-dedans. On est tantôt l'un, tantôt l'autre. Le mouton blanc, lui, il est en règle. Ses papiers sont en règle, son statut est en règle, il est citoyen, il paie ses impôts, il paie ses taxes, il travaille fort. Il est content de vivre dans un pays libre. Il ne se pose pas de questions, surtout pas, c'est normal. Il y a une dette, il faut la payer. Il y a oui, puis le gouvernement manque d'argent, donc il faut se serrer la ceinture. C'est tout normal. Il n'y a pas de problème avec ça, lui. Alors, il est en règle. Il y en a d'autres qui commencent à s'ouvrir les yeux comme les souris, puis qui disent, écoutez, il y a un problème, mais il y a un truc qui ne va pas, qui commencent à étudier la loi, parce qu'évidemment, il faut bien comprendre, et c'est facile, que si le peuple arrête de payer l'impôt, tout ça s'effondre. c'est l'impôt et les taxes qui financent l'État, qui permet à l'État de ramasser l'argent, de forcer, de payer une police, de payer des agences de collecte pour ramasser l'argent, qu'on appelle le Revenu Québec, Revenu Canada, en fait tous les noms, des agences de revenus, et c'est avec ça qu'ils paient des policiers pour nous ramasser, pour nous mettre en prison, pour collecter l'argent partout, des juges pour collecter encore, tout le monde collecte. Hein? Un notaire, ça passe noble, un notaire. Non, ça fait juste collecter au moment de la vente. Ça sert à ça, un notaire. Un juge, ça sert à collecter. Alors, tout le monde sont des collecteurs d'argent pour le gouvernement. Puis ils sont payés par le gouvernement pour collecter l'argent du peuple. Mais quand le peuple va arrêter de payer, il n'y aura plus de gouvernement. S'il n'y a plus de gouvernement, il n'y a plus rien de ça. Alors, c'est important de comprendre ça, puis on va le voir tout à l'heure quand on va passer à la solution. Mais je vous dis dès le départ, vous pouvez donc comprendre que le gouvernement veille à ce que le peuple ne prenne pas conscience de la façon dont ça marche. Mais il y a des gens qui en ont eu tellement marre, qui se sont dit, attendez, moi je vais étudier comment ça marche, et qui ont étudié la loi.